Hello, gorgeous. Welcome to a recording of a Love Goddess podcast. I'm your host, Katya Melvin, and this past week we have been discussing the art of balance. And like I shared many times before, and I'm going to share that now, there's never the art of balance. There's always a balancing act that we need to learn how to art. So, with that being said, today specifically, I want to talk on two subjects that a lot of times you might question me about. So, it is about planning and flow, it is about strategy and spontaneity. And I may not be able to pronounce that word, I will try my best. Grabbing a sip of water here, and we are ready to get started. The art of balance and everything that I have shared with you so far through this week or through previous week has been about learning how to tap into your feminine energy. That is your energy of flow, your energy of pleasure, your energy of receiving. Feminine is wild and crazy and loud and expressive and creative and free, where masculine is more giving. It's about linear. It's about having a strategy, having a plan, having structures and deadlines and schedules. And that's where the question about the flow and the planning comes into place, because the society, and patriarchal society specifically, has designed life through the years on the principles, on very masculine principles. There's your 9 to 5 job, and you gotta go to work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, right? There is you only have that much time leave for your maternity leave, and you only have that much time. And if you have a period and you have terrible cramps, there is nobody cares, right? I thankfully don't suffer from cramps, but I get terrible mood swings. I need to sleep. I am a very not happy person a week before my period. So I know how it feels. I want to be very isolated under my blanket doing nothing. But anyway, the society has created this kind of life that is not designed to go with what women want. It's been designed for men by men, and now we women fought for our rights through feminist movement back in the day to become like guys. And while now we are at a completely different stage, back then that was the only way women could get attention, right? So in order to get where we at here as women, where we require now the feminine structures, we had to be here first, right? So it was just a progression. There is nothing to be mad about. And as much as we want to say, oh my God, how stupid, women, claiming themselves as men, but what you don't take into account is how suppressed women were before that happened, right? And so women claiming the same rights as men required women claiming their masculinity too, right? And so it is now we have evolved to become women who now drive the world. A lot of women now own businesses, create differences. They are now independent, earning their money. We don't need to marry to be supported financially anymore, right? And so a lot of the entire world has changed because of that. And when we stepping into our masculine energy, we are able to create the systems and structures to support ourselves. And the challenge is that's where we stay, and that's, especially if you are a business owner who is earning independent living for yourself, right? You are very much in your masculine energy. And so what's the balance between the flow and the planning, the structure? Because some women, I communicate with some women on Facebook, and there was this one woman, I'm not gonna say her name. I asked her, all right, tell me about yourself. What do you do? And she goes, I just flow through life. I was like, okay, great, right? And so I know I'm coming from that judgmental place, and maybe she has truly evolved and learned the intricacies of using her divine feminine energy through creating a lifestyle for yourself, and I am not even there yet. But I can only speak from my perspective, and I can only speak for myself, right? Like, it does require action in order for me to hit certain numbers in my business, or certain things in my business, or get the certain strategy. Like, I have to operate on this structured planning way, right? Like, I have to plan it all out, make space, either do it myself or assign my team member to execute the task, right? So there is definitely a place for doing. And so, but what we are slipping as women in modern society is that we devaluing the intuition, we devaluing the inner guidance, we devaluing the feminine aspect that is our most powerful aspect of ourselves. We have that divine connection. And I have decided a long time ago from my coach to see God as my business partner and follow that direction, not follow what like the structures. Like, yes, it's important to know the certain systems and funnels and how they operate, and it's great, but ultimately it's between me and God, and I'm being guided to take certain action steps. And it's not about learning the funnel, it's about the energetics of it. And energetics come from being tapped into your feminine energy. It comes from operating from your feminine place, from surrendered place, from being guided place, from following your intuition place, from releasing control place. That's why I've gotten where I've gotten, is because, not because I followed certain procedures, but because I was able to intuitively operate my business from a place of guidance. I sit down with my journal every night and I write down what feels right and what feels wrong, and I use that as my guidance system. Should I do that, or what should I do, right? Like, create the space in my mind. Dear guides of mine, how should I go about having this goal or this thing completed, right? Or this intention fulfilled, or this desire fulfilled. And I sit and open and clear the space to receive that download and the answer to that, right? And it's super important. And the crazy part was that when I was operating from more of a flow place, meaning, and when I did not force myself to sit at my desk, when I didn't force myself to be in this stress mode, I was actually earning more money at that time, to the level where I was at that time, when I was able to go to the beach and be tapped into my divine feminine, be tapped and receive those answers, because they came from the divine download that has saved me hours of hustle mode. And there's nothing good's gonna come from you being in your hustle mentality. Nothing good's gonna come from being in that mentality. You're only gonna burn yourself out. You empty, you're running on empty fuel. There is nothing left of you to give. Especially in any business, is a service-based business. You are servicing. So if you're servicing someone from an empty place, you're not really servicing anyone, right? And so you service yourself first, and everything else fills in. My favorite quote from Abraham Hicks, right? And so the balance between the masculine and the flow should happen, and it should happen intuitively for you. And right now I'm in the middle of a big scale and big move and opening new studios. So there's a lot of masculine action that is cutting into my feminine. That is happening, right? But once things settle, I am able to find my balancing act between between the masculine and the feminine. So I kept refilling myself, right? That is why my Cleopatras are burned out, because they gave out themselves too much to the job, the family, the business, whatever else. And they did not take the time to refuel themselves or refill themselves energetically, and they are running on empty, right? And so it is so important to, yes, give, but then honor that desire and need to refill your cup. For me, it's meditation, sleeping, going to the beach, reading books, being in my feminine. That's refueling me, right? I recently took a Kundalini awakening class from a facilitator that has allowed me to refuel my energy. And so for me, it's, yes, I give, and do, and plan. But it also comes from I also tap into my feminine in order to have that balance, because without that balance, I'd be burned out, and there's nothing good's gonna come out of that either, right? So it is super important to maintain the state of the flow and also have some masculine structures. But the thing is, every time I create a plan, I feel good about it. I have a plan, I'm good. Should never goes according to my plan, period. Yeah, like so funny, like, yeah, create a schedule, gotta have a container, gotta do like shit never goes according to my plan. Things like always take longer. I'm needing more time to refuel, and I honor that. Like, I need more time to refuel, and it cuts into my work. I honor that, because I am my biggest asset, and so is you, right? So it is so important to have that intuitive balance of flow and planning. You cannot be always in your planning and not have a flow. You have to create that white space in order for divine download and divine guidance and divine intervention to happen and guide you in the right direction. If you are always living from your calendar in the place of masculine and you don't have that white space, you are going somewhere, but at a much slower pace, right? You're gonna have more mistakes, you're gonna have more, like, you're gonna fail more times than if you were guided by your spiritual guidance system that knows where you should be going and putting your energy in, right? And with that, my love, oh my God, why am I wanting to drink so much? I invite you to join me on to a 2-day VIP retreat with me, where day 1, we are actually working one-on-one with you on creating that, the systems for creating your irresistible life and lifestyle, where you don't just work, but also have that fun aspect to life where you get to replenish, where you get to play, where you get to have space for other joyful activities that you currently don't have that space for because you are in your masculine all the time. You always work, right? And then day 2, we are tapping into our sexual kitten and growing and seeing our love goddess for maybe the first time through a boudoir session with me. So it is very limited. We only accepting people on a limited basis, and in order to qualify, we require an application process. That way we can scan through an application and guide you through the next step. So if you are someone who is interested in this, make sure to DM me the word application, and I will guide you from there. And with this, we are wrapping up this week on the topic of the art of balance. And I'm sure we'll come back to that multiple times in the future. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon.